Hello, everyone, and welcome to CodeCast by STLTechTalk and the STLTechTalk podcast. You're getting a 2-for-1 deal tonight. Are you ready for instructional, informative, unique, and insightful commentary on programming and technology? Of course you are. My name is JJ Hammond, and I'm joined tonight by two coding experts and STLTechTalk podcast co-host. Up first, our guest. He has been senior manager consultant for NTT Data, senior solutions architect at Covenant Technology Partners, technology partners, software architect, conference organizer, a part of the St. Louis.net user group, avid cruise taker, a wonderful human being. Say hello, Scott Spradlin.
Hey, everybody. It's good to see you all.
A little more enthusiasm. Come on. It is our pleasure to have you on the show.
I have nothing.
Oh, come on, you have tons there. You have tons and tons of it. However, this show would not be possible, and I truly mean that, without my fellow co-host striving to bring development knowledges to the masses, and has spent the last 20 years architecting and implementing highly scalable ASP.NET applications. Our very own Gus Emery. Say hello, Gus.
Hey, JJ. Scott, nice to see you again. It's been about a year almost. And Kevin, my God, you're on my screen. What's up?
I know, isn't that wild?
This is going to be fun, guys.
It is going to be fun. So, last but certainly not least, my fellow co-host and my good friend, founder of STLTechTalk.com, co-creator of CodeCast by STLTechTalk, the uncanny Kevin Harvell. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, everybody. Thanks, Scott, for joining us to talk St. Louis days of .NET.
Hey, I'm really glad to be here. I think we're having a great conversation. I love it when us geeks get together and chat about fun stuff.
Yeah.
Geek talk. It's like Fergie and Jesus, I always say. And don't forget, everyone, you can follow us on Twitter, #CodeCast, or at STLTechTalk on Twitter. Also, you can find us on all the social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're going to find a lot of great video content there. I would say more so for CodeCast than anything else. But subscribe to our podcast. Everywhere that you can subscribe to. Don't try the Windows Phone podcast app because that's awful garbage. And don't forget, you can interact with the show by sending us feedback to podcast@stltechtalk.com. Actually, we're changing that. I take that back. Just do contact@stltechtalk.com just because I'm being that way tonight. If you're watching us live, you can ask us questions via the chat room, and we will do our very best to answer those questions in a timely manner. A special thank you goes out to Todd Gardner, our last guest, and he did a wonderful job of discussing his product, Track.js. It allows to track errors through JavaScript. It's gorgeous. Go back and listen to that show. Gus, you can speak to this. Man, that was a really awesome show.
I thought it was excellent. And in fact, I made a couple of recommendations to other people to reach out and talk to him too. So, no, I thought he covered a lot of really good things and hit some topics that a lot of companies are looking for. So I think it's a great product.
Yep. And so while I'm on the track of thank yous, let's go ahead and talk about our sponsors. Inertia Software, creating cutting-edge, highly scalable Microsoft technological solutions to the energy industry. Visit inertia-software.com. And Tech Systems, our people make IT possible. People are at the heart of every successful business. Every year, Tech Systems deploys over 80,000 IT professionals at 6,000 client sites across North America, Europe, and Asia. With IT staffing solutions, IT talent management, and IT services, complement and enhance your in-house skills and capabilities, optimize how you attract, develop, and retain great IT people, achieve business goals with managed project and outsourced services. Contact Tech Systems today by visiting them on the web, techsystems.com/STL, or call them at 314-819-1117. Also, we would like to thank Heartland Realty for great real estate services. Visit heartlandhomesrealty.com today. Also, we would like to thank Unidev. If you dream it, they can build it. Creating custom software, end-to-end development, beautiful web design, and creative marketing solutions. In business for the last 25 years with 200-plus customers, 24/7 support. You will not be let down or left out on the creation of your dreams. If you want software development, mobile development, website design, e-commerce solutions, digital marketing, and hosting, go to our website and click on the banner, or go to unidev.com to get the high-quality service you deserve today. And that was a whole lot. So without further ado, let's hop in and kick off the show with the very first question to Scott. What is St. Louis Days of .NET? And tell us a little bit about the history and so we can inform our listeners.
All right. I kind of dropped off the conversation there just for a second. Do you guys have me back?
Yeah,
Okay.
you
Yeah,
popped
you're back.
in like right in time.
So our conference, this is year number 7. We started out our very first year meeting at a facility at Washington University. We had 250 people. We were jam-packed in like sardines. We had one day of sessions, and it was full. It used to be called the St. Louis Day of .NET,
Nice.
and we kind of added up to it and went to 2 days. Now we're up to 3 days. We're out at the Ameristar Conference Center. We have 80 speakers, I believe, 80 something this year, and like 130 sessions that you can go to. So you come out, you spend 2 full days in awesome sessions from literally world-class speakers, and the amount of information that you're going to walk away with is just amazing. So that's kind of the high-level 30-second elevator pitch.
And how many vendors do you have attending this year?
So the vendors are still signing up. Actually, we we have about 20 so far. Last year we had 40 something.
Okay.
Some of those have already told us they're not going to return, but there's others in the process of signing up. So we're at about 20 so far.
That's not too bad. That's actually quite a bit for a local, Day of .NET type of conference. So it's awesome.
It is, and we have quite a range of vendors. A lot of them obviously are local consulting and recruiting firms that are looking for people because everybody needs talented people. So if you come, there's probably going to be somebody that asks you if you'd like a new job. So don't be scared at that. Take that as a compliment because if somebody wants you, I think that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
Me too.
Your conference has been one of the few that have been able to hold on to the vendor numbers, right? To come in, help sponsor and help run the conference, or help you guys put on the conference, I should say. Do you know what your attendee size is looking like this year? What are you shooting for?
We're shooting for 1,100. Last year we had just a couple over 1,000, and our facilities only comfortably hold about 1,100. At 1,100, we're going to be tight. But we have so many good speakers there this year, we said, well, let's open it up and cap it off at 1,100. So if we go over that, sorry, we won't let people in because we just physically have no place to put you. Nobody wants to stand up there.
Well,
I hear you.
And one thing that I want to drive from the very get of this show is that it's not all necessarily just .NET. It's a broad range of topics. We got C# cross-platform, HTML5, mobile, project management, security, software careers, just all of this cool stuff. So I mean, JavaScript is the very first session that pops up when I look at the session list. So people are going to learn a lot from going there.
Yeah.
JJ, you're exactly right. We actually are kind of sad that our name says Day of .NET because we're more than just .NET now. We'd like to change it to more of a generic name, but that's kind of a long, complicated process to do. There's business entities that have to change and email addresses and just a ton of stuff. So we've kind of been languishing in this old legacy name that's been around 7 years. But if you look at the list of sessions, almost all the sessions are listed right now on the website. So you can go there right now, just kind of browse through the things that are available. And there's everything. We used to say it was just .NET, and then it became, well, just Microsoft stuff. Now it's not even that. It's just anything that you as a developer may use. There's probably a session out there that's really good for you. I got a couple that I can recommend, but maybe we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, there you go. Good answer.
So
no, it's actually an impressive lineup of speakers. So we'll cover that in a few minutes. Go ahead, JJ. Sorry.
No worries, man. No, I just wanted to say from the top of the show, we're actually going to be giving away, I believe, 2 tickets. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. To the show, or not to the show, sorry, but to the conference, and you can enter that contest to win on our site. So go to STLTechTalk.com. Hey, listen to me. I almost said a St. Louis Days of .NET, but STLTechTalk.com, and click on this show's link. This is the episode with stlouisdays.net. You can't miss it. It's a whole thing. So click on that. We'll be promoting that out, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm looking at you, Ryan and Travis Laudermilk, to help us promote this thing so people can get out the door. The reason why I did that, threw that out very beginning, was we want to tell people with the next question, which is, why should developers and or both IT professionals come to this show? Specifically, why should they come this year?
Wow, that's a great quick question. Did you direct that question at me?
I did, sir.
Yeah. So I have a ton of answers for that. And let me kind of back up and make the question just a little bit broader. Why would anybody come to this thing? Me as an individual, I'm a developer. I write code all day long. I find it incredibly difficult to stay current with new stuff. There's new versions of Windows. Boom. There's new versions of each of the tools that I use. There's new versions of the stacks of software that I use coming out all the time. If you are in the web world, you're probably taking a look at jQuery and libraries that support JavaScript. There's new ones of those are popping up. Which ones work together? Which ones do the things that I need done? How do I know this? It is a full-time job just to stay current. And I already have a full-time job. So how do I do that? Where do I go? I can go to a user group, which is what we started out as just a user group. But sometimes I need more than that even. So this conference helps you as an individual find ways to get plugged in. Not only are you going to get raw information, but these people who come that are speakers, they're going to tell you those tricks and tidbits of how they stay plugged in. They're going to say, if you're working in the jQuery space, here are the websites you need to follow, and here's the sites you need to take a look at all the time to stay current. If you are a Windows Phone developer, here's where you need to go. So you're going to get so many resources at this just as an individual. So that's, as an individual, why I think the thing is of a value. If you are a sponsor, one of our vendors, you're going to have 1,000 people there, 1,100 perhaps, that are probably decision makers in their IT department back home. So, if you have some software that it's targeted towards IT people, that's an excellent place to be a vendor. Come show it off. Let these people see it, because they're going to go back into their individual organizations and make decisions about, what do we need? What kind of HR software do we need? What kind of CRM software do we need? Do we need some training software? What do we do? These are decision makers. So you're going to have an opportunity to get in front of them. So that's two sides of the coin right there. I'll tell you, this coin has a lot more sides than that. But I'll stop just for a second and let you jump in and
it's a hexadecimal question. It's a 12-sided die. No. So the real push is there is actually resources out there to convince your employer that you need to go to this conference in particular. So we'll try to help you do that convincing if need be. Just write into the show and we'll do our very best.
Yeah. Definitely, and I can tell you, for the amount of money that you pay for this conference, to all of our viewers, it's peanuts compared to what you will walk away with. I can guarantee it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a top-level view here, I wanted to let everybody know that the Platinum sponsors, Polaris Solutions, really solid company. Oakwood Systems Group, another really solid company. And I don't know this one. STLTechTalk, is that how you say that?
STLTechTalk, yes, they've been a really strong supporter for us over the years.
Okay.
Check them out. Go right to our site.
Yeah, we didn't get
click on their link. It'll take you right to them. See what they all do. They're all live. Yeah. Check out our sponsors. I really encourage you, because we don't. I like to say we don't have just anybody. We kind of vet the people that we actually allow as sponsors. So we believe that the people that are on our sponsor page are serious contenders in the St. Louis area and have some value for you guys. So check them out. See what they're going to have a table there. So come talk to them. See what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, let's see, Gus, why don't you ask the next question, or if you have any particular questions or something.
Actually, I did. I was since I just mentioned that you should register and what you had to pay. What is the registration fee, and what do they get for that, Scott?
That's an excellent question. So on the very first page, I'm going to keep referring you back because that's just the way I do it. When users come to me and say, how do I do such and such, I always say, well, let's go through help and figure out how to solve this problem. So if we look at the website, it actually tells you that the current price, well, not the price for this year's conference is $300 a person for the 2 days. You might say, wow, $300, that's a lot of money. I'll come back to that. Right now, we have an early bird registration time, so you can get in for only $200. That's good through October 13th. It says right here on the website, good through October 13th. So the price is only $200 right now. If you have a group of 10 or more, there's a 10% discount on everybody in that group. So you just start registering, and once you hit 10, you get an automatic discount that's applied. So like your 10th person is free. So that's kind of a good thing. If you wait and walk in on site, the price is $600.
That's a little steeper, and I'm sure I know why.
I really don't want you to do that. We want you to do it ahead of time, because when you walk in on site, there's a bunch of things that have to happen that really mess with our planning, like how much food, where do people eat, where do people sit. So it really messes with our logistics. So we try to discourage people from doing it on site. We'll let you come in. We probably won't get too many. We never really have.
Right. But, I mean, we definitely want to hear if there's any reasons, if there's anything our listeners are holding them back. We'd like to hear why that is and try to fix that somehow.
I'll tell you one of the biggest, it's not a complaint, it's a thing we hear. People say, why should I come to your conference at all? I can sit at home and do a web search and come up with the exact same information and learn it all myself. I don't need to do that. I'm like, yeah, you probably can. There's a lot of stuff out on the internet, and God bless you if you could do that, because it might take you a little bit of information to dig for stuff that you don't even know what you're digging for. I ran into a problem the other day. This is a legitimate problem. I was using Entity Framework, a Microsoft thing. Entity Framework, I was trying to load a bunch of records. I had like a million records to load. It was taking way too long. I was trying to research how to do it. I was using my search engine and trying to figure out how other people are doing it. And it took me literally all day to come up with the fact that, hey, there's an add-on that does bulk loads of records. And boom, it went from like minutes down to seconds, my load did. Whenever you come to this conference and you come to a session that was on Entity Framework, they would have told you that. Boom, you would have had that. You would have had that knowledge right there. You wouldn't have had to waste a half a day of searching. And if you're a consultant, time is money. You don't have time to sit on Google for 6 hours. You got to know what the answers are. Sometimes you don't even know what to search for. So, yes, all this information is probably available out there, but save yourself the hassle. Come have a nice breakfast and a nice lunch and hang out with your 1,000 of your geekiest friends, and let somebody who's been down that path show you what to do. It's a lot more fun than sitting at home on your search engine.
Yeah, well, it's not only that, but it's also the networking aspect.
Yeah.
And Gus, I know you can speak to this, because you've been a speaker at Days of .NET and other conferences before, and you've also sat in on other sessions like this. That meeting these people in person, the speakers, and sitting in on sessions, you have these aha moments per se, where you're sitting there listening and you're like, wow, that was something that I know is going to help me out. That's right along with what I was looking for a problem to be able to solve it, and they can just learn little things like that.
Yeah, I can actually tell you that I've had those aha moments myself in there, and a lot of times it's actually not about the content that's happening. It's about how the speaker built something, and I noticed something in the session that kind of blew my mind, and I went, I never thought of doing it that way. Mm-hmm. But then, I'm in there because I want to learn the topic, but I've actually found other things that are being shown that are, side topics that maybe I knew about, but I didn't think of it in that abstract fashion. And I want to second the networking piece, because anybody that's coming up in in the ranks and in development, the best thing you can do is have a network of people to email and talk to and chat with and link IM Skype to bounce your ideas off of, because your work people sometimes are stagnant and you need a broader range of people that have lots of talents, so that if you ever get stuck, you can just IM somebody or email them and go, hey, I'm stuck, how do I solve this problem? And then they give you a link, or you can't find it on the internet or something like that. I just had that with a PDF printing issue under C# just yesterday. So I mean, it's there for your benefit. This is for that too.
Okay, so look, guys.
Can I add to that real quick? Gus, you're exactly right. And in addition to that, I'm a strong supporter of building a network of peers here in town that are local, and that you can ping stuff off, you can have lunch. I got a couple, I've been in the business a while, I've got a circle of my friends. We have lunch every now and then, and we kind of talk about, and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of doing some of that, but I can't figure out how to do such and such, and we'll share ideas from other architects that I wouldn't get in my own place. So you could build that. But in addition to that, we have speakers literally from all around the country, and quite frankly, all around the world. We have three speakers outside the United States that are coming in. Mm-hmm. We have speakers from like 17 states, I think, coming in. And you say, wow, these pretty important people. And they are, because they literally speak all around the country. They're speaking at Tech Ed and big events like that. But you're going to be in a classroom of maybe you and 20 other people, and that person's going to be teaching you. They're going to give you their email address. And I guarantee you, if you write to them, they'll respond back. So this is it's more than just a one-day thing. Yeah, those links are incredibly valuable.
So, is it my turn? Can I go? Or okay. Of course. So this show alone would not be happening without our attending the last St. Louis Days of .NET.
That is very true.
And the momentum, the knowledge that I've gained. So I went from 0 to 100 because of that conference, not because of St. Louis Days of .NET, not that conference, because there's literally a conference called that conference. So from St. Louis Days of .NET. So and I wanted to speak on that a little bit. Learning, like looking over the shoulder, we very much live and we very much work in this field, and this is a field where I would say the majority of people learn by apprenticeship of some kind. And I think all of you guys can speak to that, is looking over the shoulder, saying, hey, sitting right next to somebody, watching them code, and you're coding at the same time, and or you have a problem and stuff. Yes, obviously you can find your answers online, but can you get it faster from a human being that has been there and done that and went through? There was a couple conferences that I've been to recently where the issue was, hey, yeah, I'm sure we could learn this on the net or whatever, but we're here knocking this out right now, and we're solving the problems immediately. So efficiency, we always talk about efficiency in our code, and we always talk about efficiency in our lives. So this is being efficient, going to these events and learning from each other. And just to kind of build on that point as well, is the ability to network from a job perspective overall. Like the next thing you know, you could be flying out to, I don't know, Denver, New York with Gus or something. Not that I'm pimping Gus out, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of opportunities that come from just showing up. And not only that, is we're going to be there, and frankly, you should just go for that, because we're going to be at the very front, and we're going to be grabbing people, talking to them, talking to speakers, making a whole thing out of it. So you're just going to have a lot of fun. And if you enjoy interpersonal communication, you don't believe that that's a skill that's dead yet, then you'll love this conference, and I think you'll guys have a lot of fun.
I totally agree, wholeheartedly. I can say that JJ, Kevin, and I actually met last St. Louis Days of .NET.
That's right.
And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have this CodeCast, and we wouldn't be having fun. And they are definitely brothers from another mother for me. So I'm very happy to have met you guys, actually, and I can only thank St. Louis Days of .NET for that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Scott,
it's
I'm
okay.
sorry,
Group
we're
hug,
not going to
group
give you a
hug.
cut. We're not going to give you a cut, Scott. I mean, it's one of those things where it's going to have to just be a contact awesome because we're not quite there yet. But when we are, we know who helped us. We're not going to turn our backs on those who built us up. So
Yeah,
yeah,
don't forget
definitely.
the little guys.
Don't forget,
Yeah.
well, you're neither a little guy, literally and figuratively. So what are some of the things that you had planned for some of the attendees?
So that's an excellent question. We have more than just sessions. We have more than breakfast, more than lunch. The biggest thing that I think is the most exciting is what we call our Tech Expo. Our people, and when I say our people, I just mean people in general, they do more than just what they do at work. They do cool projects at home. They have ideas on stuff they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
We have this is what we call the Tech Expo, where we want to showcase other things that people are doing. You know, if you're doing something that's a little bit out of the norm, maybe. Last year, Jesse Phelps, he brought his smoker that he made he had it controlled with computers so he could adjust the whole thing. Stuff like that. If you're doing something that's just a little bit different, if you have writing some kind of special application that's really cool in your life, you'd like to show it off, bring it to our Tech Expo. We actually provide a little bit of incentive for people to bring their thing to Tech Expo because we judge the interestingness and the coolness and the value. I don't know what all the criteria is, but we judge that and we actually give out a prize. It's a monetary prize, so you may walk away with $500 to $1,000 if you bring your idea and show it off to your friends at the conference. That's the first thing. I think that's pretty cool. People could win real money, so you just got to bring your idea. Check our website; it tells you how to do that. There's two other parties that we have, official parties. The first one is the night before the first night. So there are 2 main days of the conference.
That sounds like a quest. The night before the next night.
Yes, the night before. The main conference sessions are on Friday and Saturday. We have so let me start at the end and work backwards because it gets better as it gets backwards. The attendee party is our big party. That's the big blowout. It's Friday night in between the 2 days. We have it there in the conference center at the facility that used to be the old home nightclub. This was a nightclub that for many years I didn't even know existed because they had people in like Lady Gaga, and I was apparently never invited. I don't know how I missed that memo, but it was a pretty high stakes club. We have that, and we're Lady Gaga might show up. I'm just saying. So we have a party. We have some table games there that we have the casino bring in some real dealers, some real tables. You can play without risking your own money. You can risk our money. Of course, if you get anything, we get the money back.
That's the kind of gambling I like to play. You know what I mean? That's the kind of where I'm not losing anything because I always lose. Double down on 21.
Zero risk.
Right.
Yeah. So you have some zero risk gambling there. We have food, we have drinks, we have a magician. And last year we had something new. We had some Teslas there. I don't know if you're familiar with the electric car, the Tesla. We had 2 of them there.
Yeah, it was hot.
They were brought in by owners in St. Louis who brought them in of their own accord. Thank you to them.
I know, right?
Exactly. It was funny because whenever we first contacted the Ameristar about bringing in cars, they had some really crazy restrictions. Oh, they have to be drained of the oil. They have to have no more than 1 gallon of gas. And it's like, nope, this is an electric car. It has none of that. And they're like, oh, I'll just bring them in then. So that was kind of fun. We had 2 of those. One of those is coming back this year, maybe 2. And we have a different car coming in, which is all electric. And I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but we're going to have more than we had last year. So come check it out. We have video games there too. Those are coming back.
Oh,
it's a fun night.
That was my favorite.
And
we were talking about that last night. It was like, really, video games? That's what's doing. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
A lot of people enjoyed that.
It's plenty of stuff for people to do. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So all that's coming back. That's on the Friday night. And then on the night before that, we have a little party in the Bottleneck Blues Bar.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it used to be a lot more kind of elite because it was just for the speakers. Then a couple of years ago, we said, we should just invite everybody. So everybody's invited. It's at the Bottleneck Blues Bar on the Thursday night, and I'll tell you in a minute why that may be of interest to you. So you come in. I don't remember what time it starts, but we have a band called the Unhandled Exceptions, and if you're a .NET developer, you get the irony of that name. The band is composed of guys from the IT industry here in town, so they can feel your pain. So come listen to them sing, and you can feel their pain.
They even played Zombies by Cranberries. That was awesome. That was awesome last year. It was awesome.
All the guys in the band are in bands, so it's a serious band. It's not just some guys hacking around on a harpsichord or something.
It's not just a jam session.
Yeah. No, they're good. They're really good. They're really good.
They practice and everything, so that's what it's worth. So they come on, they take the stage early on, but then at 9 o'clock, we have a national band coming in. Mackenzie's Mill, maybe you've heard of them, Southern Fried Rock and Roll. They're coming in, they take the stage, and then they play the rest of the evening. But
cool.
All the attendees get a free pass to that if they want to come. So you just have to kind of show who you are, and we'll make sure you're in. So those are the extra things. But if you don't mind, can I back it up a little bit to the precompilers? Can we do that now?
This is your show, sir.
All right. This is about informing everybody about what St. Louis Days of .NET is all about. And we can't talk about it without mentioning the precompilers.
So the $200 gets you the base into the base 2 days, this Friday and Saturday. But wait, there's more. On Thursday, we have what we call our precompilers. They are day-long, hands-on sessions on one topic. You come in, you sit there in that room, and typically the session may have 1 or 2 or 3 speakers. They're going to lead you through a session that lasts all day. You're going to do a deep dive. You're going to walk out of there knowing something. Because of that, we charge just a little bit extra for the precompilers. Most of the precompilers are $85 additional to attend that other day. There's a separate web page on our site that shows you exactly what those precompilers are. They're all $85 except one. One of them is a really interesting session. Jesse Phelps is going to teach one called Introduction to NetDuino. It is $185 because with that session, you actually get to go home with some hardware. I know. We're just giving stuff away left and right.
That's awesome.
We're giving it away at $185. The hardware that you get to come home with costs more than that, but we're subsidizing some of that cost. So check that out because I think that'll be a really interesting session if you're interested in that kind of thing. Jesse's always done a really good job with that topic. I think you'll really enjoy this session. Check it out. So then that's the pre-day. In the evening of that precompiler day, which is the Thursday night, that's when the Bottleneck Blues Bar thing happens. So you can have 3 full days, boom, 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 right there, full of stuff, full of learning, full of evenings having fun. And if you want to stay on site, you can stay right there at the Ameristar. We have a discounted room rate at the Ameristar, and I want to make sure you read this correctly. There's a whole page on our site that talks about lodging. It has the phone number that you call if you want. We don't sell rooms anymore. We used to do that. We decided to let you go directly to the hotel, cut out the middleman because we missed the middleman. It's the same price, the discount that we had last year, and I'm trying to find it on our site, and lo and behold, we didn't put that on there.
It's
okay.
Okay.
It's exactly the same as last year, but it's pretty affordable. So check that out.
Yeah, and No. You're good. No, I just wanted to throw it out there. Full disclosure, we at the STLTechTalk crew has actually got a precompiler session. So if you just don't get enough of us on our shows, We're actually going to be doing a Windows Universal App training thing, so it's going to be really hot. So go sign up for it. We need to get those numbers pointing north. So
wait a minute. You guys are doing a session?
we are.
Wow.
Yes, we are.
I hope it supports like kind of this Windows 10 thing. You going to talk about that in your session, maybe?
I might.
touch
You
on
know, yeah, we might touch on it just a little bit, just a hair, just a hair.
Just to hear. Well, I wanna move my Windows Phone app over to Xbox, so maybe you can maybe do that.
Sure, why not? You know, abso-freaking-lutely.
Let's do
All
it.
right. Let's do it. So, let's jump into specifically some of the speakers, what their topics are, and kind of what you're looking forward to personally, and then what people can look forward to.
That's a great segue. I'm on our website now of speakers, and you can actually see pictures of the speakers, which is pretty awesome. And some of the speakers have little squishy photos, and I'm going to tell you right now that we asked the speakers to supply their photos of a certain ratio, size ratio, and the ones who didn't put their picture up anyway. So it's their fault, not ours. But if you go to sessions, this is just amazing. Every year, Jeff Faddick has worked on getting us awesome sessions, and we have awesome sessions. You could do some filters on our website based on things that you might be interested in. The topics over at the left side. As a matter of fact, I talked to a student just today at Lindenwood, and she's working on user experience. UI design and proper placement of stuff on the screen. It's very important. A lot of geeky developers omit that part and you end up with lousy looking software. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions on user experience. I think that's more valuable than a lot of people give credit to, because you got to have your stuff looking good. So don't miss that. I'm going to give you, I'll save it towards the end. I'm going to give you my favorite session of the whole conference. It's not mine. It's not JJ's. Sorry, guys. But before we sign off, I'm going to tell you the session that you can't miss and why. But I'll save that nugget till the very end.
Okay. So let me run down through this list a little bit here. We got JavaScript. It's not a dirty word. And you know what? Everybody needs to learn more JavaScript, even me. We got .NET data access solutions. We got some .NET dependency injection. 4 simple things for increased productivity. Well, that sounds like fun. Deeper look into entity framework. So can you speak to entity? Can either one of you speak to entity a little bit? Because I don't know enough about that.
Yes.
Don't all jump at once. I mean,
So it's a way. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you how I use it, because I think that usually works out best when people give you real life examples.
Yep.
They have Unity Framework is a layer of software which lets you deal with your database easier. If you use Link and Unity Framework work really well together to help you get access to your database. They have what they call code first in Entity Framework.
Okay.
I can write my plain classes that you're familiar with in C#. I can say this is what my database should look like. Here's a class, and here's the relationships between the columns and the different classes that are set up. And you can say, boom, create me a database based on these classes, and it'll physically create the database with those table structures to support those classes, and you can read and write and update data out of the database easily with software provided for you. I don't want to go into all of Entity Framework, but it's awesome. If you don't know anything.
I think we just lost Scott, but I'll finish what he was saying here while we figure out where he is. Entity Framework, the best part of Entity Framework is the fact that there's almost no configuration other than setting up a DSN or a data service connection and being able to just go from there, and you just connect to the database. You don't have to worry about instantiating a SQL connection or a command or record sets, and everything that comes back is a strongly typed object. So that being said, you know what comes back. It's guaranteed. Even if you execute a stored procedure through Entity Framework, that also comes back as a result set. So it's actually a typed result set, and it literally acts just like a function within Visual Studio as you're typing it. So you call it like you would another function, and it lists all of its parameters right there for you. And then when you're done with that, you are done, and it fires and it executes blindly behind the scenes, and it actually converts it into a SQL connection and a record set, command, parameters, whatever it happens to be running, and then returns it as a result set. And you get that as actually a collection of objects. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That sounds hot. So we got that.
We've got Scott's down there now. Hey, yeah. There he is. He's back. I finished your talk about Entity Framework.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Talking.
Yeah, he did a gorgeous job. He actually answered my question. And finished literally like you were good, and then boom, and then just picked right up and just kept going. Like he's like, "Don't worry." It was like a flea flicker on 2 or something. I don't know, but it was good. So next up, a new age of clean markup. Oh. That doesn't sound like very much fun, but I'm sure that's informational as all get out. A practical view of release management for Visual Studios 2013. A walk in the cloud. Ooh, I'd probably like to go to that. Accelerate DevOps. That's definitely cool. Advanced. Let's see. OOP. Let's see. What is this? Ever heard of Law of Demeter? Listen, interesting. Laws, principle, and idioms. That seems like more of a philosophical. Thing there. Advanced Visual Studios for beginners. Okay. All Visual Studios were not created equal. Okay. Angular for .NET developers. Come on, let's all agree that Angular JS is probably the hottest thing on the market right now. Angular JS for the .NET MVC developer. So that would be very beneficial for everyone to go check out. Clint Edmondson is doing a couple of these. I just saw Rick Peterson too. Clint Edmondson, object-oriented programming, obtaining. Well, you got these all by alphabetical order in here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I can keep going and going and going and going and going. There's crazy numbers. Like if you can't find something in this list to come at least go to at least for one, it's crazy. Hadoop for the SQL Ninja. Come on.
One of the neat things, for me looking through that list of all the speakers and stuff is a lot of these people are people we've had on CodeCast in the past. John Peterson, Corey House, Lee Brandt,
Nate Taylor, yeah. Jesse Phelps,
Alejandro, and there's a few that are actually probably coming on in the near future too. So that being said, I think we're going to get some really good content here. I think everyone's going to have a lot of fun. Oh, Jeff Faddick's been on before. He's a partner and one of the people that helps set up STL Day of .NET. But yeah, that being said, I mean, it's going to be great to go there and walk through all these speakers and actually see a lot of cool technology.
Now, Gus, are you doing some sessions?
I have no sessions right now. I'm just coming to do the precompiler and hang out. So
okay.
We'll see what happens after that. There might be some sessions coming my way. You never know.
Right. Pop up.
We're trying to rope Gus in, so maybe we'll still have him on the agenda yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You can't not have Gus on. Come on. What's next in C#? That's kind of interesting. Xamarin, obviously, that. We had David Hathaway on, and he just did a phenomenal job of explaining that stuff. And we were just talking about that last night, Scott, me and Kevin.
Right.
XAML, so easy, a web developer can do it. That's pretty cool. I kind of like that. I've been doing a lot more with XAML lately. I kind of like it for some reason. I don't know why. It'll probably go away though pretty soon. So a lot of very very awesome stuff. And also on your site it gives St. Louis Days of .NET. So STLDODN.com. If you go to the sessions, you can choose, like Scott said, all levels. You got your 100, and that's beginner, 200, intermediate, 300, advanced. And then you can break it down by topics. That's pretty awesome right there. I'm guessing you guys used a .NET framework to build the website. That was a joke. Haha, funny, funny. No,
Well,
so
it's funny, but it's true. It is MVC framework. So.
no, it's gorgeous. Yeah, so there's a lot of really cool stuff. So don't tease me anymore. What's the one you're looking forward to?
Okay, so the user group had a guy in from New York. His name is Nick Molnar. He's one of the co-founders of Glimpse. If you do any web development, any web development at all, I guarantee you that the session that Nick's going to get, it's called Full Stack Web Performance. I know that's not a real sexy name, but trust me, you will get more information from this session than you need out of the whole conference. Come to this one session and then walk away. You'll go, that's all I need. I've had enough. This is good, because his session is so crammed full of tips that you need to know. If you're responsible for a website, and these days who isn't, you need to hear what Nick has to say, because I've been a web developer for years, and the stuff that he pointed me out, some of it was very simple that I knew. There was tons of stuff that I had no idea about. I could totally increase the performance of my website if I did that one little trick. So come see that.
So speaking to this a little bit, it says modern users can expect more than ever from web applications. Unfortunately, there are also consuming applications more frequently from low bandwidth and low power devices, which strains developers only to nail the user experience, but also the application's performance. Co-founder open source debugging and diagnostic tool Glimpse for an example-driven look at strategies and techniques for improving the performance of your web applications all the way from the browser to the server. I want to go to that. We'll cover how to use client and server-side profiling tools to pinpoint opportunities for improvement solutions, the most common performance problems, and some suggestions for getting ahead of the curve and actually surpassing users' expectations. This session covers a wide array of topics, most of which would be classified within the 200 level. This is gorgeous. Yeah, I wish that I could.
That class right there, you'd easily pay $295 just for that 1 hour class.
Yeah.
Because that's gold. It really is.
Yeah.
And that's not a sales pitch.
I've
been to his session.
Yeah, we need to get Nick. We need to pull Nick in and get him to talk with us.
You definitely need him on the show.
Yes, absolutely.
I totally agree. We'll have to see if we can get him on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's very, very, very exciting. So some of the other stuff. So, Gus, what are you looking forward to from the conference?
Seeing a lot of good people and actually attending a few sessions. There are a few sessions on here that I saw that I wanted to attend, and actually, it's kind of funny that Scott brought Nick's up, is because I wanted to see that one. I've done one that's a 100 level, not a little more deeper dive. And I'd love to see what he has to say, because last year, I think he did something fairly similar, and it was at the exact same time as I was on, and I couldn't attend it. So I'd like to see his. I've actually got a couple from John Peterson, who's been on the show, that I want to see, and a couple from a couple other people. So I think it's going to be kind of fun for me to actually go as more of an attendee than a speaker this year a little bit, and actually catch some of the other sessions that I haven't been able to in the past.
Yeah, it's just going to be a blast. I mean, it's going to be solid. I know, I'm sure Kevin's got tons that he would like to go to, but unfortunately can't because he's going to be stuck with me up front. No, it's going to be a lot of fun, and there's going to be a lot of people involved. So let's see. We got the parties, we got the food, we got the speakers. We talked to people how they convince their bosses to let them go. Why advertisers, why businesses should become sponsors. Absolutely. We need to do more as far as talk to those people, and we'll continue to do that. So, guys, did you have anything in particular that you're, that a lot of people make, so kind of takeaways that you we're kind of winding down the show? So maybe some takeaways that you'd like people to have.
I mean, I'll go first. One of the things that I really love is how the session list is broken down by different skill levels per se. You have the the hundreds, the 200s, the 300 levels. Somebody like me that wants to get into learning how create his hello world first thing. There's going to be some sessions there. So if this will be your first tech conference, or you're wanting to get into the, IT field, making a transition in careers, come on out. This could be a $200 or $300 investment into your future career. Make a lot of great connections, see a lot of good information, and just have a really good time.
Yep.
If you go to that sessions list, you'll see 130 sessions listed. And JJ started to read them all, and he gave up. Good try though, man. Good try.
Well, yeah, that was just to show. I mean, how many? I mean, just from the top. It's crazy.
Look at these. So here's the problem, and this happens every year. When you come to 2 days, we only have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 sessions a day that you can see. It's just because it's the laws of physics. You can't see more than one at a time. So you're not going to be able to see all 130, and you're going to be really irritated because there's 25 there you want to see. Sorry, you can only see 7 a day. So the good news is some of these guys are national speakers. They give these talks more than once. So maybe able to catch them somewhere else. They may have a PowerPoint deck that you can take. If you go hit them up in the hall and say, hey, man, I couldn't see your session. How can I get your slides? So don't give up. Just hang in there. Some of them we've actually had in past years if a session was really jam-packed on the first day. Jeff Vadek will try to have that guy come and represent it again the next day. So that may happen too. Just don't give up because we got a ton of speakers. Like I said, we have over 80 speakers. Some of these guys are local guys, and they're really good. You've had them on your show, So,
oh, yeah, they're solid.
Yeah, good stuff. So come support your local guys and hear the new guys. I think you'll be pleased with spending the time and the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw out there, and I've said this over and over again, please, for the attendees of this conference or any other conference, feel free to walk up to the speakers and talk to them. Don't think that we're untouchable or, that we're the celebrity that you don't want to talk to because the person's going to get mad at you and, blow you off. I can tell you less than 1% of the speakers probably would ever do that, and if they did it, they'd probably do it by accident. So feel free to come up, say hi, ask for those slide sessions or with your questions, because that's what we're there for. We're actually there to help teach you and guide you and mentor you to be a better developer in the long run. And we may not have all the answers, but somebody there may have an answer that we may know, and we could actually push you off to that person too. Say, hey, come over, let me introduce you to this person. He's the one that I know that does this. Let's go talk to him or her. So that's the one thing I wanted to throw out there.
So, Scott, we usually do this with our CodeCast guests, and I want to do this for our STL Tech Talk, and since it's a hybrid show, we're just having a lot of fun here. We're just hanging out, talking about awesome stuff. We usually throw out a question like, what technology do you see going extinct within the next 3 to 5 years? What do you think the next technological niche is? As a betting person, what technology do you see booming next year? So based off of all the different speakers that are coming in and what everybody's talking about, what do you see a little bit as the future? Pick one of those that I said and just off the cuff answer. No big deal.
Okay. Yeah. So let me pull out my little crystal ball here.
Yeah.
Things. The first thing, obviously, is right up the alley of one of our sessions, our pre-compiler sessions, and give me just a second. I'm going to call it up because I want to make sure I get it right. Kevin Grosteklouse is going to teach this. It's called Building Rich Web Applications with AngularJS, Bootstrap, and ASP.NET and MVC. You've heard some of those terms. That is, I think there's a lot of momentum around the JavaScript world and headed down that route.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be a big thing for a while. And the other big, I know that's kind of generic what I just said, but there's tons of sessions in our conference around that, how to use these specialized JavaScript libraries. You'll see tons of them in our conference. The other thing was the thing that was just announced, well, what announced today, but people saw, they caught wind of Windows 10 code that you have different operating systems, but you have the same code that works, the same API into Windows on all the platforms. So I think we're going to see a little bit better migration towards that over the next year. Still kind of new, so there's not a lot of momentum behind it yet. I don't think in our community here, but writing an application once that runs on your desktop and your tablet and Xbox and your phone and all the devices. So those are the two worlds. That's kind of the one that I'm going to kind of lean towards on my own endeavors. So
Okay.
you guys do whatever you want, but that's the way I'm going.
No, that's awesome. I mean, since like I said, we're blending these two shows together for a reason. Let's talk about that a little bit. Do we think that businesses and I mean, obviously we write code. The people who listen to the show code or want to code or do code or whatever the case is. And one of the things is, okay, how can I optimize what I do to either get out to as many people as I can, or the people that I do reach, how do I optimize it to make the most money that I can? Because frankly, no one does it for free, and if you do, you're crazy. So the one thing that I would say is, do we think that Windows has it right here with one store? Because from what I understand, it's going to be one store that apps are deployed out of, so phone, tablet, desktop, everything goes out of one store.
So for the enterprise world, the enterprise guys kind of look at that and cringe, because they're like, oh man, I want more control over that. They don't even send out Windows updates. They kind of do that in-house and vet that stuff themselves. So
sure.
The one store concept for enterprise developers, I don't know. Let's see how that works out. There's some mental roadblocks there we got to overcome.
Okay.
But for the consumer apps, it's perfect. You go to the store, get your app, boom. It's just like all the other worlds. So there's some good things and some bad things, and most of us live in the enterprise world. So when we go to our boss and say, "Hey, let's write this newfangled app and put it on all the desks," we got 10,000 desktops in the corporation. They go, "Yeah, how are we going to do that with that new store?" So there's technical.
You don't think the new portal that allows for distribution of company apps or enterprise apps through like an enterprise solution, like their own? It's not like their own store, but it's kind of like their own store. You don't think that's the solution there to that particular problem?
Well, I think that what's going to happen, it's going to have to be easy for enterprise organizations to deploy new applications and make changes to those applications. And I don't think any of them want to go through somebody else's store. They want to have their own store. And if they're going to have their own store and they've only got 2 apps, why do I have a store? Why do I put those in a store? Why can't I just deploy them? So those kind of questions are going to be answered, and I think we're going to find solutions to them.
Okay.
I just personally don't know what they are right now. Right now there's some headaches about how you can deploy apps, outside the store, and that's kind of a pain. But I think all that's going to be worked out. Just be patient, I guess.
Yeah. So, but I think, and I'm probably coming across really stupid to some high-level Microsoft people, but I believe that they have an app portal to where like it's a store essentially, but you deploy through the store that you control. So it's like your own portal that you're distributing these apps to. Say if you have a universal app, right, that runs on desktop and runs on phone, they accomplish the same task, but it's all controlled through their company's enterprise. We'll stop calling it store, but we'll just call it their own app portal. To where
I believe they called it side loading at one point.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, exactly. But it's not that anymore. It's like they have their own, deal, like their own set of apps specifically for that business and that business only.
So now we're starting a whole new show.
Right.
Whole new topic on that. Yeah, but you're right. How do we do that? That's all questions. But you're right. How do we do that? And side loading used to process, and you had to pay extra licensing fees for certain things, and it was just kind of painful for a while. But they're smoothing all that out, and maybe with this new announcement, some of that's going to be included in the new dev tools.
Sure. So I invite Kevin or Gus to chime in on this particular point if you guys have thoughts.
Well, I know it was one of the things that Microsoft actually failed at, I think, in the first rollout, is not allowing to have enterprise stores per se, right, for their own apps. I saw it coming in the future. I don't actually know anything about it. I've been stuck in the web world, so I haven't been able to actually research it in the last 6 months, and I think that's probably when all the changes happened. But that being said, that it for an enterprise-style company, whatever it may be, the large Fortune 100s, whatever, to be able to deposit their applications on devices, and I'm just going to use the word devices here because we're walking up to the IoT, right? The Internet of Things, which also could be consuming these applications.
Sure.
Across the board, by being able to put them out, the items update themselves. They're always on the latest version. They don't have to worry about security because it's all in. It's the only app that connects to it. This is something that enterprises need. And until they get that, we're going to be stuck in Windows 7 and the Targets, Best Buys, General Mills of the world, corporations, especially healthcare and banking too. A lot of those companies are barely on Windows 7 now, and Windows 98 is completely out of service. So that being said, we're looking at companies that are not going to use a solution out there, and that's.
You hear that? Figure it out, Microsoft. No, that's. I mean, it's interesting because there's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of .NET developers. There's a whole bunch of C# developers. There's a whole bunch of web developers, and they all, everybody's fighting for a secure solution, a easy to distribute solution. Company issued devices. Go in, and say, hey, this person no longer works for the company. We're wiping their device. All those types of solutions everybody's looking for. So it's going to be interesting going forward. But I think Scott, I share your thoughts on the JavaScript and the thought of what the future looks like for the web-enabled stack, and Gus, you as well, because you've talked to me a lot about that recently. Kevin, you want to throw your 2 cents into the ring?
Being the complete noob to developing, I really don't know a whole lot about all this back end and all this other stuff. But, I do like, with this Windows 10 announcement, with kind of going with this one platform that Microsoft's looking at. I think the future's bright, and now's the time to get involved where it's going to make things a lot easier for developers, whether new or experienced, to just simply create one set of code and be able to push it across multiple devices and platforms and stuff like that to get their products out to everybody on a quicker basis.
Agreed. Well said, sir. Well, let's talk about some announcements that are coming up. Gus, I'll let you go first.
Sure. Well, we're coming up to St. Louis Days of .NET, which we're talking about right now. That's where I'm going to be next, I believe. Other than that, JJ, do you have any?
St. Louis Days of .NET is the only thing on my radar, aside from some local stuff, which is Venture Cafe, which is tomorrow night, which Kevin and our new CEO, Aubrey Bates, is going to go to, and my brother's going to go to. Also, we have the pre-compiler session that we're going to do, and we're going to be at St. Louis Days.net, so I just wanted to reemphasize that. Gus, Kevin, do we have anything else that I'm forgetting about?
Well, I mean, if you're in the St. Louis area and you're looking for a meetup group for any various amount of topics, whether it's Ruby on Rails or Java or Python or just anything like that, make sure to head over to STLTechTalk.com and take a look at our calendar, and you'll get a lot of information. You'll be surprised at how many different meetup groups there are in St. Louis. I keep getting emails like every day saying, hey, a new meetup group popped up in your area.
Are you going to be at Code Till Dawn? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like, I know you've said it numerous times. If we could just duplicate ourselves, so we had 5 or 6 of each of us, to where we could go to all these things.
That'd be phenomenal.
That'd be amazing. But we're a small team, but consistently growing. So we hope to get to the point where we can attend a lot more of these meetup groups.
Every single one of these things, man.
Because there's a lot of great stuff going on in St. Louis.
So, Scott, thank you so much for coming on and talking about StLouisDays.net, talking about the speakers, talking about the pre-compiler sessions, the fun on Friday night, the fun on Thursday night, the awesome stuff that's going on in and around the world of technology in St. Louis. I know that that's something that's you're passionate about as well, as bringing companies here and bringing talent here and being productive. Also, thank you very much for just coming on the show in general, and thank you for all you've done for us, and we just can't thank you enough. So people can find more about you on Twitter. They can find you. You have a nice LinkedIn page as well, and we'll have all of that information in our show notes. So I can't thank you enough for being on.
JJ and Kevin, I really appreciate you inviting me on. I love talking with you guys. And Gus, it's always good talking with you. I hope you get to have a few sessions of your own at the conference too this year.
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
It's been one of those things. Gus knows what I'm talking about, man. Kismet or whatever you want to call it. But we've just been having this weird, like, luck thing that's been going on. It's just been gorgeous. So, Kevin, obviously, we're awesome. So, you know.
Just one last thing before we wrap things up. Again, we want to remind everybody that we will be giving away, thanks to Scott and the rest of the organizers of StLouisDays.net, we're giving away one, maybe two. I'm not sure exactly how many we'll be giving away, but we will have that information on the STLTechTalk.com website. So, and it'll also be in the show notes for this particular episode, no matter which podcast you listen to, whether it's CodeCast or the STL Tech Talk podcast. That link to that page on how to be able to enter for that to come to Days.net for free. Obviously, travel and lodging, that's up to you. And pre-compilers, that's not included in the past. So that's just admission to Friday and Saturday, and of course the food and the parties and all. But yeah, we'll have details on that.
Just let me say one more thing here about the conference. If you have any questions at all, we've kind of covered a lot of information here, but if there's something we didn't cover, you didn't understand, or we talked too fast, or we just said wrong, go to the homepage of the conference, stldodn.com. At the very bottom of the homepage, there's email addresses that you can send your interest to. Say, hey, help me understand this particular aspect, and we'll help you get clarification and give you some reasons you ought to come. So we hope to see you guys there.
Yep. Have as many links as possible in the show notes for everybody. It will not be confusing at all.
All right, well, everybody, thank you to all of our fans. We love and thank you for the support of the show from the entire STL Tech Talk and CodeCast crew. Good coding. Stay frosty. We're out.